Ooh, nice GT. Found cracks here that supposedly were fixed, but you can see them coming through, so I went ahead and fixed everything on the back side. You can see some goo sticking out here. I need to trim out a little bit, and here again, and just a couple little hairline cracks. So I went ahead and flip this guy over, and you can see I just went ahead and put a couple layers of fiberglass mat in there, and just made sure and reinforced all these spots, because the guy I got the fender from, you know, he said he fixed it, but obviously wasn't quite up to par. So that ought to do the trick. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. Right there. Spider house. I'm going to go ahead and use some Bondo glass. Just grind out those little spots, the cracks on the outside. Fill them in. We should be good to go. This way. All right. Well, seems to fit very nicely, nice and tight. But you can see that all this edge here is fully exposed. So I have to make sure. I wasn't going to grind this little crack back out, but because I thought it was covered, but I did anyways, and glad I did, because it's definitely visible. So we'll make sure and fill all these real nice, get them looking minty. Hey man, you got a smoke?
No.
Be a whole lot cooler than you think. We got these sanded down, just a couple spots, and just laid down some of this silk glazing putty, mixed it up, and see if this stuff is actually easier to sand and better than the Bondo brand. Hoping so. Gotta get that creamer nice and mixed together there, you know. So, what's up guys? Today is the day. We are going to be laying down some paint here. And we got our fenders laid out. Gonna just zip tie the quarter, maybe the fender too, around that thing. Just make sure it doesn't blow off when I start painting. Car, not sure if we'll get to that yet. I'm gonna pull this sucker out and may do front and rear bumper, both panels here. Leave the door and the rocker for last. But I got me a nice little box fan from the local general dollar store. Gonna close the door down just on top of it, try and blast a little out of here, and got me some nice tarps. So try and tarp everything off in this place and get down to work. Hopefully we don't have any issues with the paint job, and got a couple extra lights all set up too, so trying to keep it all looking good. Keep an eye on it. Alright, status update. We got cars out, got the panels placed, completely wiped down. both of these guys. And I wanted to paint the rear bumper as well, but I think it's best if I just do these two first. And we got our paint right here. It's not the right color, but it is the right code, so the name doesn't matter, I hope. And we got some slow reducer because it's already about 90 degrees. It's going to be up to 100 today, and I don't want this stuff to be drying in my gun. I went through the gun, cleaned the whole thing completely, pulled it all apart, so I need to readjust my fan, and we'll be good. Okay, there it is. Looks really good. Alright, well, there's the first coat down, and we had a catastrophic failure. You can see I got really lucky, didn't splatter any of it on the panel, but yeah, my paint gun, after messing with it, had when I tightened the tip back in, there's like a seal, and I tightened the seal too tight so it was sticking. So I had to back that off a little bit so the tip would move a little freely and actually close. It wasn't closing. So got it fixed, got our first coat down. Looks pretty good. Okay, we got all the paint down, all the edges. It's looking pretty darn good, I'd say. Just hope that once we get out in the sun, we'll have a good match. So, anyways, gotta move on to the clear, and we'll mix that up now. Paint, I'm probably used a little more than half. It was a lot, so guess I'm gonna have to buy another quart for the bumpers. Hopefully I can paint the door and the rocker with what's left. Time for the clear. Coat number 1. Whew. What a sight to behold. Got them out here baking in the sun. I cannot wait to get those fenders on the car. It's going to be amazing. But what do you say we go look at them up close? Alright, there it is. Close look. Color is just pretty awesome. So much metallic. It looks really even. So once they dry up a little more, we'll set them up to the car, see how it looks for real. Alright, so there's a look at the paint on the car. Our new panel. I think we're pretty much right on. It's looking good. Here we go again. Got the car body all taped up now. Ran out of hardener for my clear coat, but went and picked some more up and just wiped everything down. Got it completely masked off, so nothing ready to do now except get to painting. Cross our fingers, it's going to turn out beautiful. So I'll just start mixing up and get it in the gun and go for it. Okay, we mixed it all. We got pretty much a full cup here, so let's hope that's enough because we're out of paint. well, as you can see, we got it completely finished. It all looks good. I think there might be one little drip run down on the bottom of the rocker, but otherwise it looks great. So it's been sitting for about 20 minutes. I'm going to start unwrapping it, get it outside. Okay, new quarter panel is completely fitted, and just gonna move on to getting this inner wheel well lip in here, and we'll be good. And away she goes. Watch your toes, Geronimo. Cold start commencing in 3, 2, 1. It's like super Christmas, man. Unwrapping this stuff, putting it together, just getting so much closer is incredible. And I mean, that match is just phenomenal. Perfect. I couldn't be happier. So just gotta let this dry up for a while longer before I try mounting that fender, because it's a little more complicated. And that's probably what we're going to do next. Well, as you can see, it's a ripe 100 degrees out. We got this door panel back on, mirror, everything's installed. Just checking out my heads-up display. I did put my seat on the cool position. Never had a seat with, or a car with seat coolers before, you know, plenty of seat warmers, but not seat coolers, so that's pretty cool. I was going to take this thing for a drive. I actually zip tied up the driver's side front fender well, inner fender, just so it wouldn't rub, but I think I'm going to wait till at least I get the other fender installed. Then the thing will look like kind of a car. We'll take it for the first drive. That'll be cool, and I'm sure I won't be able to avoid getting on it through every single gear. It's gonna be awesome, especially with no licensing, registration, possibly no insurance. What's up, y'all? We're back on the Corvette here, and I got it right out front. Just got done pulling the seat belts out, and as you can see, passenger side actually freed itself up, which is odd. Driver's side still nice and tight, kind of spotted and furry like a Dalmatian, and it tastes just as good. So we got to get those sent off. But I need this bumper stand so I can actually sand my bumper on it, get those painted. Picked up some more paint yesterday. The only problem with mounting this fender is the fender scoop vent, whatever you want to call it, air extractor extraordinaire 9000, I suppose, is not painted. I ordered some paint in for it. It's not here yet, but you cannot install that after the fender's on, so kind of sucks, but gonna have to put the fender on temporarily, see how it looks at least, and pull it back off in about 2, 3, 7 days, whenever the mail gets here. God, that's so close, it scares the crap out of me. Well, that's pretty good. Had a C5 drive by and he was going real slow. I think he was trying to check it out. Hope he liked it. But let's see how this hood fits. Alright, well, as you can see, our lines all look pretty nice, straight. I don't have the hood shut because while that latch is bolted down tight where it was, this one I haven't adjusted the actual hood closing latch yet. But the fender looks pretty awesome too. I think that'll do for now. Got it pretty much where I know it needs to be, and once I get the vent painted I can install that. Put the fender back on for good. Add the fender liner. I'll probably go ahead and buff and polish all this because it looks like the rest of the car, the paint's really flat and smooth. There's like no orange peel, whereas in the door jambs and stuff there is. So guessing that they went over it before, so we'll do the same and get it all matching right. But we've got our front bumper here, and that's the last piece that I have not touched yet. So we'll grab some 400 in our good old water bucket here and get to sanding this sucker. Well, all this fine work in front of you is pretty much going to close the chapter on this episode, and I'd like to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I am so excited to finally have all this paint and body stuff pretty much dialed in and done beside these two bumpers. And the next things we need really is a headlight for the passenger side, and a friend of mine's going to some more Moto headlights on his, so probably going to get both of those from him, and I'll be able to get rid of that driver's side headlight with a broken tab that I already picked up. And aside from that, definitely need some wheels, and I've been looking a lot, like at least every day, trying to figure out what would look best and what I want to go with. I know that these have a really funky offset, you know, like plus 50 in the front, plus 73 in the rear, which is really odd, makes it difficult. So